Hey YouTubers, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 2, Episode 21, Peak Performance. So this episode's okay. It's not great, it's not bad, it's interesting, and it's kind of funny, if nothing else. So in this one, the Enterprise is basically being forced to participate in some war games. So they have like a specialist come in that I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, and he's basically kind of redesigning, refitting everything. And his species is well known for being intellectual in that capacity and redesigning things. Not necessarily being strong, but just being smart. So Riker, Geordi, and Wesley are basically, for all intents and purposes, are put on a piece of garbage ship that can barely run. And they're doing a simulated battle with the Enterprise. And while they're doing this, some Ferengi come by and think that it's a real battle. So that's kind of interesting because when the Ferengi show up, we only see two of them, but one of them is Armin Shimerman in his now third appearance in the show, which he was one of the first Ferengis we saw in the very first episode, and as one of the three that are on the planet. And then he had like a weird spot in the first Loxana Troy episode as the box. And now he's playing a Ferengi again. And I always think it's funny whenever he shows up because, as most of you probably know, in Deep Space Nine, he's the guy that plays Quark. And he's just a great actor. Like, I always think of him from the live-action Beauty and the Beast show with Ron Perlman and Linda Hamilton, just because he's in that too, and he's a great character actor. So it kind of made me laugh seeing him. So the War Games aspect kind of reminded me of the original series episode, The Ultimate Computer, where in that one, Kirk, if you guys have seen that video of mine, Kirk is basically forced to run the Enterprise with a smart computer on a skeleton crew, and of course it doesn't work. And he does War Games in that one as well. Which this episode takes place like 100 years later, so clearly that Ultimate Computer didn't work. And also the specialist, he and Picard are getting into it because he wants Picard to leave everybody on the other ship. And he says to lose 40 people to save 1,000 is acceptable tactical loss. So once again, we're doing that, like the lives of the many outweigh the lives of the few. And just like Kirk, Picard's like, no, it's not. And he stays to save the day. And of course, I mean, it's not difficult to outsmart the Ferengi. And so everybody wins. But yeah, overall, like I said, this episode's it's an interesting one. It's kind of a just turn your brain off and watch the War Games unfold episode. There's not a lot of depth to it, but it's interesting. And I do enjoy this one. For those who have seen this one, what did you guys think of the Ferengi? As I think this is their third appearance now, maybe fourth, because they're clearly not what the creators wanted them to be, because they were supposed to be the big bad, and they're just kind of the joke of the franchise. But as we're slowly unfolding the species, and as we get closer to Deep Space Nine, where there's just Ferengi episodes, do you guys like how they're evolving? Do you guys like how they're changing? Go ahead, let me know, and I will see you guys next time for the season finale, the famous or infamous episode, Shades of Grey.